What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's edition of Free Tool Friday. My name is Tyler S. Clark, and what we are going to be discussing is how we take you from the doer of the accounting, bookkeeping, or tax firm that you kind of happen to have and take you to the director of your dream firm. And this is one of my most favorite lessons that we cover with our top tier clients, the ones that are systematically adding incredibly high quality clients on a regular basis. And what's interesting about this is it doesn't require us to do anything fancy on social media. It doesn't require us to necessarily even do anything outside of, I'll say, reconstruct our thought process, because the person who is capable of building their dream firm is no different from the person who is stuck in the doer role in their firm right now. And the main difference is what goes on in between the ears. And what I mean by that is we need to have a guiding light that tells you that you are moving in the right direction. And it starts with your thought process. And so here's how I like to have my clients think about this. Okay. You should be aware of what is known as your top 5 priorities. Okay. And if you can't very quickly list off your top 5 priorities, it means you haven't necessarily figured out what they are quite yet, but that's what I'm here to help you with. So your top 5 priorities are: when you choose to invest your most precious resource, your time, when you choose to invest that in a strategic way in your business, working on your business instead of in it, what is that? What are those priorities? Where do you deliver maximum value inside of your firm? And when you have these top 5 priorities clearly written out in front of you, clearly able to be referenced, what's beautiful about this is that as soon as you realize that you're not doing one of these 5 things, there should almost be this like, awooga, awooga, like this alarm going off in your head. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I am not delivering max value. And that's normal, especially if you're in solopreneur mode, especially if you're getting started up, you're wearing a lot of different hats. And when you're wearing a lot of different hats, guess what? It's hard for you to stay focused on the area where you deliver max value. But this is what this exercise is about. You go, it's okay that I'm doing something that is not a top 5 priority, but I have to understand that in the not so distant future, by getting better high quality clients, I will be able to transition away from doing this, something that's taking up a lot of time, maybe reconciliations, maybe filling out tax returns, maybe something that, again, is important to be done, but not important necessarily for the owner, the director of the dream firm, to be doing. And when we recognize that, we just say, okay, it's fine that we're doing it right now. I'm going to talk about how we're going to get this off your plate in just a little bit here, but we're essentially going to say, great, right? Like, I can recognize it. It's fine. I'm doing it. But what is it that I should or need to be able to get to? And that is going to be your top 5 priorities. So I always like to make sure that you know that I take my own medicine. So here are my top 5 priorities. Number 1, create legendary content. Hopefully I'm doing an okay job of that right now. Number 2 is create offers that drive revenue. Number 3 is attract and inspire talent. Number 4 is create and capture all inspiring results for our clients. And number 5 is make sure that my partner feels loved and fulfilled every day. I hope I'm doing okay with that, Marie. Is that I'm gonna do it? You are. Sort of. Okay. I think I'm doing okay. So my point is if you don't know what those 5 things are, it's really hard for you to go from doer to director because you're constantly reacting, right? You're not being proactive about directing your resources into where you're going to be able to deliver maximum value. And I know a lot of people who are in the weeds right now, who are just carving out a little bit of time right now, especially with tax season right now. They're saying, but Tyler, like, I'm doing a lot of things. Where do I start to be able to win back my time so that I can focus on these 5 priorities now that I have a chance to define them? It's a great question. And the answer is pretty simple. Powerful things are oftentimes very simple. So here's the way that I like to have my clients be able to win back their time is when you find yourself doing something that can easily be delegated, what you need to do is you need to not try and think of it as like a massive, massive task or undertaking. When you find yourself doing a task that can be done by someone else, all I want you to do is the next time you find yourself doing that task, document the process. Just the one part of it. And again, get even a little granular with it. It's like, this is how we access the client's file, right? Like something really simple like that. This is where we go to be able to do X. And it's like, I'm just going to jot these things down so that I can eventually pass it off to someone else. And this is part of the 3-step process that we talk about all the time here at Dream Firms: create, elevate, delegate. And what we're talking about for this is you've got to create a very simple process that may not be at the standard that you'd like it to be, not comfortable to delegate it quite yet, but we have to start with something really small so that we can build on it and continue to elevate it. And as soon as it gets to a point where you're like, wonderful, right? I've got my process fully documented. Maybe I need a little bit of video training to coincide with this written checklist that I've come up for being able to get a tax return into the position where I can review it, or where I can get someone who understands exactly what they need to review so that I can remove myself even from the review process. There's a lot of ways to approach this, but the goal here is you have to start with a small understanding that you're not going to one day just have 2 full weeks to document all your processes. It doesn't work like that. It never will. But as you're going through it, just have that presence of mind to say, in order for me to extract myself from this, not to say it's not valuable, but in order for me to extract myself from this to go and do the things that deliver max value, I have to give a little extra 5 to 10% to just take the time to say, this is how I do what I am doing right now. And then slowly but surely, you'll get to the elevation phase. And once you are satisfied with the way the process reads and understands, you go, how can I get quality talent in the door to be able to do this so that I don't sacrifice the result that comes along when I do it, but I win back my time and I get to go and deliver maximum value in one of my top 5 priorities. So that is ultimately how you go from doer to director. There's no magic. It takes a little bit of, foresight. It takes a little bit of analyzing what's going on in between the ears. But as long as you have that and you stay diligent and consistent and just say, what's my one process today that I'm going to work on? What's the one thing that I know that I shouldn't be doing that is valuable to get done, but isn't the best use of my time? And boop, boop, small wins stack into really big wins when you follow the create, elevate, and delegate principles. So that's today's lesson for Free Tool Friday. Remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we help you every single step of the way. Make sure you get those top 5 priorities, and I'll see each and every single one of you next week. And by the way, Secret Free Tool Friday, be on the lookout for that. You got to do a little something special to get invited to that. Talk to y'all soon.